What's going on, guys? How are you all doing? Today's video, I wanted to go talk about some more 3v3 teams and ideas for the upcoming season of 3v3 and Grand Arena Championships. So I've done videos on this in the past. I like to keep these ones updated though, however, with some new characters that we get every so often. Since the last 3v3, we have gotten, I think, Piet, Mon Mothma, Chupio, and also we got the new Galactic Legends. I could be missing some in there. I'm pretty sure we got Jedi Knight Luke there since the last time, so he's been here for another 3v3 round. But the other ones I mentioned I think are all new to 3v3, so I wanted to kind of talk about those guys a little bit of where you want to use them the best. So outside of those, we're going to be talking about pretty much everything else in the game, and I have had a whole list from my last video that I went over, and these are like some of my favorite ones in 3v3, and I added in some new ones. Like you can see that Master Luke right there if you want to use some GLs, and just like so on and so forth. Lots of different stuff being needed here for your GAC defenses. If I remember correctly, I think it's around 12 to 14. I totally forget the number of teams you need for offenses and defenses, but this is going to be 30 teams, so it's going to be more than enough for you guys if you are in at least Division 2 or 1 for your GACs, because I have a lot of teams I've kind of thought of and where you want to use them to your best ability. So you know what? Let's go and start up here to the top. I want to get through the Galactic Legends right off the bat. I'm going to go over 4 of them. I don't have the Emperor unlocked, so how about we talk about him first and where he would probably be used the best. I don't have any teams here because I don't have him, but if I did have the Emperor, where would I use him? Well, I would say I'd probably use him on offense because he can still a lot of different stuff in the game right now. He can beat a gas team. He can do some major work versus Jedi and Rebels with all that losing of their protection, their max protection, and making the whole bar just go away. If you want to use him on defense, though, he's probably going to be still as good as really any other GLs, but I feel like in 3v3, he's going to lose a lot of his juice, a lot of his spiciness, because he's going to be not having all those other Sith that die and then he gets back to full. You can kind of just target him right off the bat and you can do some major work to him. So I'm not too sure how good he'll be in 3v3 because nobody's tested him. He's a new GL, right? Same with Luke. So I'm not too sure with him on defense and the side of things. Maybe you want to use him with a Darth Revan and Malik with the Emperor. That could be probably pretty good. But I feel like those guys go into their own teams besides going into a GL. So I'm not too sure with the Emperor. Maybe you guys can have some ideas and some new three crafts for defenses that you guys want to use him with. But let's go on here. So next one here is going to be Kylo. Kylo, in my opinion, in 3v3 rather, should always be an offensive tune. I think he should always be saved on offense to kill a GL because he can kill a GL with just him and Wat Tambor. If you want to toss in Hermit Yoda there, feel free to as well. That's even more healing, making sure that you do kill a GL. One of the tougher GLs that we've seen in the past is one with, you can see right here, it's a Rey team, but this is not the right Rey team. The harder Rey team would be with Han and Chewie. I don't have him in there right now, but you can see that Reys with Han and Chewie in the past have been very, very annoying to deal with. But with Kylo, he can definitely still beat that with the SLKR himself, Wat and Hermit Yoda to beat that Rey Han Chewie team, which is a very, very tough team to beat. And that is really the main reason why I'd save Kylo for offenses, is just because you can kill a GL. And if there's no GLs, we get easy 64 or whatever the banners is in 3v3, which is amazing, and you want that. You want to maintain those high banners. You want to make sure you can kill GLs and full clear the board. So I would say definitely you always want to save Kylo. If you don't want to go that route, which I'm guessing some of you guys don't want to, well, one tough team I've always fought in the past has been a Kylo, Malik, and Hux. I hate that team. It does force a very, very strong team. Also, now I'd say with Night Sisters being a bit more into the Kylo teams, you can use a Kylo with Doc and Zombie, which is going to be still as tough, I'd say, with all the revives happening. But that's Kylo. I'd say for sure go for him on offense. So next up here is going to be Rey's. Like I said, you can go the Rey Han Chewie if you want to be a dick. It's a really tough team, guys. I don't know what else to say. But keep in mind that Kylo can beat it. Mirror matches are going to be tough if you don't have your own Rey, Han, and Chewie. Otherwise, if you don't want to use Han and Chewie here and you want to save them like I'm going to be doing here in a little bit for my 3v3, well, you can actually just use whatever else you want. You can use double tanks, you can use a Rey, a stick Rey, and Holdo. You can do really whatever you want, or if you want to, save her on offense. She's going to be great as well. My thinking here is if I fight somebody with more than 2, so 3 or 4 GLs, I will be for sure saving my Rey on offense to kill the other GL so I can be able to full clear him and then set a more strong defense in my back and front walls. So At the moment, if I'm fighting just a double GL guy, I'm probably going to put my array on defense. If I'm fighting a triple GL or a 4 GL guy, which is going to be crazy if I do, I'll be probably keeping her for offense and killing a GL. But really, any team here with Rey is going to be good on defense. The modding is a bit more particular with her on defense, though. I'd go for a bit more offense-oriented to do more big hits with her whirlwinds and also her ultimate. But it's still a good team for really either or, offense or defense. So that's Rey. And then, let's just skip down here. Let's skip over the OG Finn and Bros. It's a great team. It's just always been a great team. But let's go over to Master Luke. So this one right here is probably going to be the next hardest team to kill in GAC for 3v3. We saw this team in 5v5 in just like your, centered squad arenas and people testing this out. But Bastila Shan leadership with Master Luke and then Watts on board. This is going to be a timeout team. Not many people will be able to kill this. Kylos will not be able to kill this. From what I've seen people testing, at least, this is a very, very tough team. You can cheese it with some different teams and counters, but those counters are going to be, for the most part, not too cheap. They're going to be a bit expensive. However, there are some cheap ones, but I'm not a huge fan of those with all the modding you got to do to in order to kill it. You're not going to be wanting to mod people with how they're going to be modded to kill this team. But if we do see more of these guys in arena or in GACs, I'll do a guide on how to counter it. At the moment, the best one I'd say to counter this team is, I'm not even sure why I'm saying this before it's even being set, is going to be a Thrawn with CLS and also 3PO. That can beat this team, but it's going to be a timeout, nearly a timeout. But I mean, just the timeout is going to be here anyways. It's going to be an issue to have to worry about. With Watts tank tech onto Master Luke, you get all the extra bonuses on the leadership from Bastila Shan. So much protection here, so much tenacity, right? So it's going to be a scary one. If you don't want to use him here, you can definitely use him in like a JKL lead with him. If you want to use him to probably kill a SLKR, maybe even another GL, you could probably use him in the leadership with some other Jedi. Maybe GMY, maybe another random Jedi like Hermit Yoda. I don't know. But he's going to be used somewhere. My personal favorite right now is going to be using him with this team on defense if I can. If I don't have the option to do this and the guy has more than 2 GLs, I'll probably set a different team with Master Luke on defense. But that's him. I think it's going to be a really fun team to see on defense. The next one here is, of course, we're actually off the GLs now. We're going to go into some other teams here. We're going to kind of fire through all these guys. The next one here is going to be the OG Finn with Bros. You guys know how this one is. You have a defense team with OG Finn lead with all this extra stat bonuses with the defense, the offense, and the potency, which means that these bros, since they are so fast, they can go and just do some crazy amounts of damage right off the bat in the battle. This can beat gases. I've seen it lose to I've seen gas lose to this team rather, as well as other various teams losing this as well. It's also a great offensive team, but in my opinion, this is a better defensive team for sure. And that lets you use Array with other guys if you don't want to use the bros with her anyways. So that's that. Next up here is the other best team, I'd say. If you're looking for a non-GL team, that's probably the best team for defense right now in GAC for 3s. It's still the it's still the Sith Empire, not the Darth Triumvirate. It's these 3. You have Darth Revan, Darth Malak, and Darth Bastila Shan Fallen, not Darth Bastila Shan Fallen. That would be crazy, though. That's a lot of words to say. But yeah, this team is crazy. It is still pretty good without Bastila Shan, but if you don't have her in here, this is very, very exposed to the bounty hunters. And I've used bounty hunters versus this before versus a non-Bastila Shan Fallen. But these 3 right here are some of the best, still the best 3v3 teams in the game. This is like one of the strongest trios in the game we have still. So this is like one team I would say always set on defenses. Always. There's like really no way that you should not set this on defense. This should always be a defensive team in 3s. I don't see why it shouldn't be. This is such a strong team. Don't even worry about setting Malak with some other random teams. I mean, maybe you could in some situations, but most situations you want Malak here because of his taunt and his fear he gets whenever he's crit or he's dotted with the damage over times. You always want to have this team on defense, in my opinion. It's such a strong team. It pulls a good counter, and if you have other GLs, set this in front of them and then set GLs behind them to make sure that they maybe use a different counter and they have no counters for GLs in the back wall. That's what I would probably do. So this is always a good defensive team, in my opinion. Is so strong still in the game. And then next up here is some more splits with the resistance. You're going to be using the bros up at the top with the OG Finn. Well, now let's see where we can use our other vets. Well, this is my other favorite team. It's kind of like a lower tier version of the other bros team. It still has a good leadership with some more potency and offense. But with the vets here, they have some more synergies with the people getting hit and psyching their offense and their defense penetration, I think, with or their armor with Vet Han's Zeta. So it's a great team. Does it get holds? all the time, no, but it's a pretty good team still, I'd say. It has every so often got me a hold, but it's a good filler team for defenses, and it's no joke if you don't know how to handle it. So that's that. This is like a Newt team. Newt in threes is going to be used in so many different places, so I don't even think it's a good place for me to say what is the best Newt team, because there's so many good ones out there. But pretty much really just use Newt on defenses really anywhere. You can use him in any different team, I feel like. Just make sure you have some good synergies with like a tank there. Maybe you want to use Dooku. That's a fast character like a Nest or Dooku. Get out in front of them, stop their TM, or maybe you gain TM instead. But definitely you want Newt in the lead with somebody who can control the battle even better with like a Dooku or a Nest, as well as like a tank. So I'm using GBA in this variation. So that's what I'm using here. Really, any Newt team is going to be great on defenses, and I don't really know the best one because there's so many good ones out there. So that's Newt. And then you got the Night Sisters here. So like I said about Kylo's, you could use the Daka zombie with Kylo, but I might just go back and use the Talzin lead with Daka and zombie just to make sure I have some defensive team in the front walls, you know, make them a bit tougher to go through. Keep in mind this is also with ships too, so the teams might be a bit different for how many you need. But this is going to be a good team anyways with the Night Sisters. So I like that team a little bit. You could even run like a Dooku lead with Talzin and Daka. I mean, there's so many different variations you could use here, guys. There's so many good ones. But I'm kind of keeping it pretty vanilla here. So next up here is Grievous, and I like this split the most because I don't think you need a B1 with Grievous, and you don't really need a B2. Grievous is going to be Grievous anyways. He's going to be doing some nice AoEs. He's going to make the guys lose banners regardless. So why not just keep it simple and then keep the other guys for a different team like we just did here. So in this one, I'm using Grievous with T3 and the Magna Guard. So you have a taunt there. You have somebody you can heal a little bit and also do some more AoEs and give out Grievous some more damage. So it's not a bad team. Does it always get holds? No, but it does pull some banners, which is the most important part. So that's my Grievous team. And then I used Poggle lead with the B2s and the B1s. So this is actually you can nest this from what I remember if you have a solid nest. But people that I tend to fight in threes don't really use nest on offense anymore. So I don't have to worry about that thing happening to me. I don't have to worry about that solo. And if you wanted to, you can always set this like a back wall team. You don't have to worry about the nest anyways. And you'll be just fine. So it's a good team. Yeah, Nest can solo it, but I think it'll be just fine if you set it in a different spot in your inner walls. So that's my favorite team actually with Poggle lead. A lot of more debuffs and AoEs there as well. So it's a good one. And the next up here is going to be a Karth lead, which is like the standard Karth team. Karth with Zalbar in Mission. So you could split up Mission and Zalbar if you wanted to in some different teams. Maybe with like a Newt team. I used to do that as well, but for the moment, I'm going to just kind of keep them here as is, but keeping in mind that this can be soloed by an OG Kylo if you have relics on him. So in that case, if you wanted to stop that, well, you could always just toss out like a Karth and toss in a Bastila, the light side version with ability blocks, or toss in a T3 with those ability blocks as well to stop the Kylo's specials from him being able to regain his protection and deal some damage, right? So there are ways to stop that. If you do know your guy has an OG Kylo with relics on him, don't use this team on defense and use a different leadership for sure. Then this next team here is a good old-fashioned fun defensive team with Old Ben lead, Spirit, and also Droideka. You could toss out Droideka for Watt, but I feel like right now with threes in the game, instead of the game right now, you want to use Watt with other people. So I'm going to be still recommending this particular team with Droideka and Spirit under Old Ben leadership. So much evasion here, so much TM gain. It's going to be amazing. So I think this is definitely a really great one still. And then next up here, we got First Order team with this very, very standard team here. You could even toss out a Red Trooper for a Hux, or maybe toss out the Stormtrooper for a Hux. But it's still going to be a great team nonetheless. There's some AoEs here. You can make them lose some banners, so it's going to be great. The next one here is Shock Clones. I personally like using gas on defense and saving some more GLs for offense. So what my split here is to use Shock with Rex in 5s to kill a very, very strong team, and then keeping down here in the bottom. We'll skip ahead. Keeping down here at the bottom, my gas in the 501st for a defensive team. It's not the best defensive team, but it's still a good one. So that's what I use there with Shock Clones, and that's on offense. So this one, the Bounty Hunters, is a very, very good offensive team right now, especially if the opponent does not set Bastila Fallen with the Darth Revan. This can beat that team and get full banners. So you always want to save these guys for offense right now. They can even kill some Night Sisters and some other very, very hard teams. They stop the revives, which is amazing. They have a lot more protection, and I think it's just protection regain, I'm pretty sure. Maybe some health as well, I forget. But definitely a great team for offense right now. The next one here is EP, BSF, and Nihilus. This is the one I like using in the past, but now with setting my BSF on defense with my Darth Revan, I'll probably revert from not using this anymore and go back to maybe a Vader, rather an EP Vader team like we're just going to see here with Piet. So yeah, I do like Piet here now with him being in the game. He's probably, I think he's new to the 233. So this is going to be a great team, I think, to kill a lot of different stuff. If you even wanted to, you can probably just not use him here and then just use him with the troopers like we're going to have you be shown here with Stark and Veers. So it's going to be a great team. Piet is going to be very, very flexible. So you always want to save him for offense for sure. And then we're going to be talking about the Darth Triumvirate. So you could use Nihilus here, but in my experience with threes, you always want to save Nihilus for a different team to clear somebody that's a bit easier of a team in the back maybe. So always want to use him differently. So the Traya and the Scion are going to be used mainly on offense. You could probably use them on defense if you want to, but I just like them so much on offense for some good banner wins. So that's that. And then you got the Padme team, very, very standard here. This is a very, very great offensive team as well as defense. I like them more on offense at the moment, though, to kill some more tough teams. If you have them modded properly, you can kill Darth Revans in threes. But that's a very, very particular modding, and it's going to be hard to pull off. So that's them. And then you got the standard JKR, Jolie, and GMY. You can kill a lot of different stuff in the game. Now with JKL, you can actually use JKL underneath the JKR with Hermit Yoda. That can kill a Kylo and kill a lot of different stuff in the game as well. So keep that in mind. And then you got this Bastila team here, which is an older team here. Not the best. It is good, but is it crazy good? Not really. I still recommend it for those people who are a bit lower tier in their GACs and their divisions and their rosters. So that's that one. And then you got a standard Poggle, or not Poggle, the GBA with Geos. Nothing crazy about this one. Just some more assisting, some more debuffs, and just some more damage. So that's that. And then you got the Nest team here with Kira if you want to solo something. Definitely a great one. Or you can just use Nest on defense if you wanted to as well, like we've shown. And this one right here, though, the Thrawn, Nihilus, and Shore, this can beat a Padme just as long as your Thrawn outspeeds everybody on the team. You get some more fractures and some more debuffs happening, and you can control the team actually very, very well and get some nice high banners. Or if you don't want to use and fight this team versus a Padme, well, don't even use Shore. Just use these two versus a very, very timeout-heavy team with low damage and DPS output. It'll get full banners, and it'll be just fine as well. And then you got this team we just talked about with Piet, and this is probably my favorite team to use on the offense to kill very, very standard teams that may be a bit annoying at times. You get so much more stacks of the Emperor's Trap, I think. Yeah, the Emperor's Trap, and use some more crazy damage. So it's a fun one. I would recommend this as well. Or just use Vader on a solo as well if you want to use that too. So that's that. And then you got Gas. Like we saw on defense, it's a great team on defense. It does pull something very, very strong. And then you got some more JTR teams. And these are some more newer ones I've kind of created over the last few minutes. JTR with the BB-8 and R2. R2 can go really with anybody in the game. He's just so good on defense or even on offense. So that's why I'm using him right now. And then I got some kind of Kylo counters, I guess you could say, or maybe just some Darth Revan counters, I think. Yeah, these are Darth Revan counters. So you can actually use JKL, Old Ben, and Watt to kill a Darth Revan if you wanted to. And that's what I might do, actually, if I don't need to fight, triple GLs, and I can use this on offense. So I might do that. So that's not a bad team. And then I got the Mon Mothma split here. I don't have a crazy awesome Rebel fighters, so I'm using what I got for my requirements, which is just Wedge and Biggs. Some more damage and some more TM if they get crit on Biggs. And that's not too bad, right? I think it's pretty good. And then the Relics too. So that's what I'm using. And then I'm using CLS with my Chewpio and 3PO. It's a pretty good split here. And then I use my either Kira or Thrawn, or really just these two Haunted Chewies underneath anybody or just by themselves. But mainly keeping Chewpio for the CLS team, I say. That's probably good. And then we got the Troopers here, of course. And I think if I were to remember correctly, that's pretty much it. Not many crazy other great teams here on defenses and offenses. You do have some like Hermit Yodas you can slot in there as well whenever you feel like it. But you know what? That's probably going to be it, guys. There's like around 30 or so teams in there, so it might have taken a bit long to go through it all. But I feel like these are some really, really strong teams in the game. The GL is part of it. Not that my favorite for threes, but there are some pretty good teams for the GAC in GLs and where you can set them and like what team you're going to be setting. There's really strong teams like the Rey, Han, Chewie, and then like this Master Luke team as well. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts down below on all these teams. What would you guys have me change? What would you guys recommend to me? What has gotten you the best holds in the past? What has gotten the most banners for you in the past as well? Let me know down below in the comment section. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like, share it around, and sub to the channel. Until next time, guys, I will see you all later. Peace out and have a good one.